Okay, this is a quick rundown of website updates that are worth considering. Okay, so I'm just going to try and go through a lot of the pages. Normally I write these things down, but it takes a long time to do that. So I've written a few things down, and then I'm going to just go through them plus some other ones. Okay, real quick, prefer to have the order online on the left side, just because that's where the eyes go first. And that way, more likely that people will order online, and that ends up costing less money over the long term than having to take orders by phone. But of course, the phone number would still be there. So also the logo here makes sense why it's like that, but it's better to use a font like it was before, which was Simran. That costs a little money, and new one that may be free is DS Izmir. But also I am at the full normal 100% zoom, so it's not zoomed in, not zoomed out, and it's extremely hard to read the Indian and Pakistani cuisine and all this stuff. So what I want to suggest for the header, and this has to do with also restaurant websites get complained about if they don't have it, which is name, phone number, hours, and address. So I've just put together a quickie here that would sort of show what it could look like. This is the DS Izmir font, and then the Indian Pakistani cuisine delivery and takeout. Now, I don't know if there is a web font for DS Izmir, so I can help you guys out, or we can look it up. If not, only this sacrificial lamb item should be an image. The other stuff, you know, for Google to even notice what it is, this stuff got to be HTML. Hours, same thing. I would just put them over here and then just leave the order online on the left and the phone number up here. Also, I think for the tel link, you may want to put a 1 in there because some phone systems are requiring a 1 nowadays. So the tel link would be not +1, just 1-202-797-2736. Okay, no dashes. Okay, the welcome to sacrificial lamb. Welcome is kind of a common thing, so I would get rid of that. Also, it doesn't quite make sense in this written stuff. Kebabs with basmati rice and naan are stars at this below ground spot. So it sounds a little diminutive, below ground, and it doesn't quite make sense when it says stars. I don't have a good suggestion for this otherwise, but it could be something. But I would also wonder if we can have sacrificial lamb. I don't know, kebabs. I don't know if it's, I don't know what the right answer is for this part here. Just the welcome to should probably go away. The other big thing site-wide is I realize you guys did a smart thing. You copied the color scheme, the brown and red, and that was probably put together by a guy that does the menus. But what I want to say is that when you have a lot of dark color, that's a marketing negative, so you kind of don't want to do that. Also, so I see what you got here, but basically you want, you know, lots of white or off-white. I think the header is already an off-white color up here at the top, and so that could be site-wide, but I would get rid of this dark brown. It's just it's a negative thing. Also not sure what the dash 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 is here. That's a little bit confusing. Okay, and then this part here is a little confusing. This is, I'm still looking at a snapshot of it, so ignore the fact that chicken curry is over the image. That had to do with when the snapshot was taken. But I'm going to go to the actual page here. Okay, so looking at this, it's a little awkward to have, I mean, I love the flips, but it doesn't quite make sense because you may not know what you're looking at, and you kind of want to know word-wise what you're looking at without having to mouse over it. That's a usability issue, and it's related to what's called affordance, where you don't necessarily know that there's something hidden, and you don't want to do that. You want to make it really obvious that if you click on something that, I mean, you know that it's clickable and what it is. I also think that I notice if you click on these, just the words, it takes you into the menu. And what I did is I clicked on mangoes, but I got chicken specialties. I'm not sure if that's what's supposed to happen. If I click on wraps, I don't get wraps. I guess I would get non-wrap sandwiches would be the expected behavior. And kebabs, same thing. It's just going to wherever I left off. So I would say those probably need to go straight into the sections that they're doing. Otherwise, there's no real purpose for this other than a gallery, which is fine. But if you do a gallery, that's fine. No flipping. Just put the text over it that says what it is. I think that would be great. And testimonials, fantastic. I can't believe how many testimonials. They're very recent, and the moving across is great. Okay, this is confusing because the map, it's hard to see where sacrificial lamb is. The main thing that the eyes focus on is this green thing, and it just doesn't make sense. So I would condense that with an embedded, just an embedded thing, because it's very confusing to see what's where. Then you end up wondering, even though it's in the center, your eyes don't catch the center. They don't catch this reviews thing and all that. Let's see. And the other stuff at the footer probably should be a lot bigger and not so bold and thick. It's a lot easier to read if it's a lot bigger and thinner font. Okay. Now I noticed the About Us has a header that's dark, and so you can't read the logo over that. So I would say that's where the logo could be different color, or transparent PNG with white, or just the same header. I would recommend actually the same header because that would make it look more balanced. This stuff here is confusing me because this is a repeat of what's on the home page, and our menu is a little confusing because that seems to go to the PDF menu as opposed to the updatable menu with the latest prices. And then the catering menu isn't relevant anymore, so that's not to be included. But like this menu, all the prices probably are not up to date. Contacts, normally it would be contact. You wouldn't put it in at the end. So wait for that to load. This again is confusing because it's you don't know that this is a map. It sort of blends in too much to the page, and it's just a confusing thing to look at. So I would embed it in a rectangle, keep it in the width that you've already set for the site, which is the borders or the boundaries of the navigation bar. That'll make it a lot more clear what it is. And then you've got the About. I would put hours and address instead of that, instead of About. And then send a message. I would take out subject. Most people don't want to do that. And then just put message, not message text. Also, the prove you're a human thing is great, but it is almost unreadable what those numbers are. They're just so small. So I would, in fact, the other unreadable thing is the name, email address, and all that. My guess is it probably looks, maybe it looks nice on mobile. Let's say. Let's refresh that. Maybe it's easier to read on mobile. That's why it's not. Yeah, no, it's harder. It's just as hard to read on mobile. Let me make it 100% here, so it's larger. Yeah, hard to read this here. Too many fields. People are going to ignore it. But otherwise, looks great. Footer, can't read. I thought there'd be the links on the footer like there are on the desktop. But also, we don't have anything up here that says, probably that whole hours and everything about should be at the top here. It shouldn't be just the map and send us a message, because you don't really end up realizing that if you scroll down, you see all the important stuff that you want people to see. Same thing here. We need it real visible what the address and hours are. So it's good to have a phone call button, but you really should have the address and hours as well. And then order online, that went to this, which is fine. It's the page, but you may want to, just make a hyperlinkable location thing too here that opens the map app. Either way, I don't know, maybe that's not necessary because it's whatever your normal situation is. But again, let me go to the home page here and see how that works on the mobile. Okay, so very dark. The order online is hard to read also because of the big, thick, bold font. And then delivery hours and pickup hours kind of merged together a little bit awkward. These hours here, not sure if there are different hours, but the fact that you've got delivery hours, pickup hours, and then some specific hours here, I don't know what to make of that. It's got to be one or the other, or if they're the same, it ought to be the single thing. You just say hours. And again, here, you know, it's kind of awkward to have to see, you know, have to click on this stuff. It's more just like Instagram pictures, and that's not what we want. We want people to click, view the menu, and buy. So testimonials, all great, but again, I thought there was some stuff in the footer here. Let's get rid of the thing and look at the actual menu. Yeah, these home, about us, our menu, contacts, order online are not showing in the footer on mobile. So that should probably be fixed. Okay, that's the scoop. And the only other thing is too, the fav icon or fave icon is a little awkward. I wouldn't spend too much time on that, but I see it's like this S from here. That kind of makes sense. But the other thing is this looks like a combination of Devanagari and Arabic and some kind of Gothic thing that people use for tattoos. So I would go for like DS Izmir or ITC Simran. Also, the title tag should just say sacrificial lamb, kebabs and wraps, pipe, order online, or just say Indian and Pakistani food would even be better. Because having it say order online, again, I'm just, well, I take that back. This is, take that back. Hold on. Yeah, that's good. Sacrificial lamb, kebabs and wraps, pipe, Indian and Pakistani food. Okay. And let's see if there's anything else. We've got the menu. We talked about that. Scroll down on the home page, conflicts with the duplications on the subpages. White thick borders here are kind of confusing. So that could go away if you get rid of the dark brown motif for the whole site. So the whole site really needs a either white or off-white like you have in the header. Okay. And then see, the pictures flipping doesn't make too much sense. It's an affordance-based usability issue. Logo on the About Us page, color contrast. If you can put the use a web font for either ITC Simran or DS Izmir, that's great because then Google sees that. And then the R stars stuff didn't make sense. And contacts nav item should say contact. Map is hard to discern as a map. Hours and location have to be obvious in the header and all pages. And the prove you're a human text, the numbers are extremely small, and then the form should just have 4 fields, not subject, and then just not message text, just message. Okay, that is the scoop from a guy that gets paid to tear to shreds all websites that he sees. So how's that for you? Happy to talk more about what you guys can or can't do. I know this is not designed, or this project is not an SEO project by any means. So I'm just hoping you guys can do what you can here based on what I mentioned. And then we will go with that and take a look at the second go around. All right, thanks very much.